Welcome to Floyd Said What? And today I want to talk to you about the reasons why I stopped drinking alcohol. I was going to try to narrow it down to like a science or, some type of list to follow along, but it really just came down to one thing. And, I went through a traumatic 2021. Through 2 years before that, lost a very, very close loved one of mine, a family member, my dad. And after losing him, I fell into a super, super deep depression. And I looked to alcohol to kind of curb that. But my story starts much, much further ahead of that. See, back in, I'm gonna say pre-COVID, I was always drinking. I was the party type, and I still like to go out. I still get calls to go out, and I'm very sociable. Uh, but my partying always included in me having a drink. Me always wondering how did I make it at home, and that's dangerous. So if you are considering drinking and driving, please don't. There's so many different risk factors that I was unaware of. My decision making was very bad. When you're drinking to the point where you're slobbering, you're talking, or you're loudly laughing. I found myself in arguments or debates over politics, who's the best rapper, and then oftentimes found myself finding fault in those who I had no business finding fault in. And a lot of it was directly coming from the amount of alcohol that I was drinking in excess. I'm not saying drinking is a bad thing. I'm just saying that it didn't help me. And when I was partying with drinking alcohol, it would always start with I would get off work on a Friday night. Friday night would come, it's the weekend. The whole thing. I've had a long way. I deserve this drink. It's been a long day at work. And I would find myself, stopping to get a beer, and I would consume that beer in the parking lot before driving off. Then I would find myself having to buy a beer before I would get to the liquor store. I would get to the liquor store, buy a bottle of alcohol, then I would go home and pregame. And we all know the pregame. As pregame is the couple of shots of alcohol with the music playing, your playlist. Bad Bunny obviously was rocking. But if it wasn't Bad Bunny, it could have been Jay-Z, and a myriad of other artists. But I had this music playing, and I was getting ready, to turn up. It's lit, right? Everything's lit. It's the lit era. Instagram, and I'll be coming up with another video speaking in depth why I left social media. That's the next video, but we'll stay on topic here with why I quit drinking alcohol. And I'm pretty much or always have been known the type of guy that's the life of the party. I'm a bubbly guy, and a lot of times the alcohol, I'm one of the type that will drink, and everything is much more over the top. At the time, in 2021, I had a podcast, and so I was doing stand-up comedy as well. So anyone knows in the comedy clubs when you're waiting to go up, it's typical that the comedians arrive, 30 minutes before production or the show, and we would have drinks. And, I would find myself, not just drinking on Friday night, so I was getting off work, drinking one beer to get to the ABC store, the liquor store, going home, pre-gaming, then that same night going to the bar and drinking beers. That's Friday night. Saturday night, I might go do stand-up comedy. So that consisted of me pre-gaming during the day, watching sports, hanging out with friends. Then I would go to do comedy, and to knock off the butterflies before getting on stage, I would find myself drinking then on a Saturday night. Sundays, I did at least try to take a break. But then I found myself right back Monday night, stressful day at work, and grabbing a drink. I also found myself grabbing a bottle of liquor for the weekend on a Monday, already planning to drink. And these, to me, is much different than a casual drinker who may just be at a happy hour after work with coworkers, colleagues, friends, and family, and may just find him or herself saying, well, I'll have a drink. This went on for about 2 years. Then I had a separation from my wife. That incurred more drinking. And so in the span of a few years, my drinking became more and more. I started going out more and more, and my decision making was not good. And when you're inebriated and your decision making is off, you're liable to put yourself in situations you have no business being in. Not only did I gain weight during this period, I also was eating much unhealthier. When you're drinking alcohol, you think that the alcohol makes you hungry, but it actually doesn't. Your body's thirsting for water and good substance. And so I would find myself at, your local cookout, which is in our area, a fast food joint. Food's amazing, but still not healthy. And so I came to this point, or this realization, as I started to, say words of affirmations, started praying more and developing a relationship with God. I found myself wanting to distance myself away from alcohol. So I do these 30-day challenges, and I've been doing these for over 5 years, where I quit drinking to give my body a break for 30 days, and I go out on a workout regimen. Well, in 2022, the end of 2022, I did my first 30 days no alcohol. Typically do them a couple times a year, but in 2022, after the pandemic pretty much was coming to an end, I found myself drinking and not taking as many breaks. I got a new job, a new position, a little bit more stressful, so I started partying a little bit more. And so that's when I knew I had to make a change. And it was one day that I sat and I knew that I needed to make a change. So I went 30 days. 30 days turned into 2 months. And that's where I'm at now. 2 months, few weeks with no alcohol. With that being said, there's great alternatives like that one. Free Wave Hazy IPA, 0.0 alcohol percentage. I'm an IPA guy myself, and drinks like these allow me to have the taste without the alcohol. Allows me to still be able to go out and enjoy myself. And let me tell you, I thought I was going to lose a lot of fun. So I tried going out with some friends, not drinking alcohol. And at first, I made it a conversation piece. My friends would be having drinks, enjoying themselves. And I'm like, oh, I don't drink. I don't drink alcohol. I'll just sit here and, just look around, people watch. But I realized quickly I didn't have to do that. I went to the bar and ordered a Heineken 00. No alcohol in it. Tastes great. Looked like a Heineken. And nobody needs to know my business because it's for me. It's not for them. And so I encourage you, if you're over drinking or drinking to the point where you feel like you can't, get normal tasks done, you find doing daily tasks hard without having a drink. You can't run errands without having a drink. You can't party without having a drink. Try the alternatives. Total Wine has liquor without liquor in it. Mimics the taste. And the one thing I will say, the best thing about drinking alcoholic beverages with no alcohol that tastes like it is I wake up with no hangover. And that's the one thing that I was finding that I did not like. I was getting trashed on Friday nights. And then Saturday, my whole Saturday would be ruined because I spent that day trying to recover. And so essentially I lost a whole 24 hours because the next day was just not productive. My workouts would be trashed the next couple of days. And I was also starting to get concerned, what is this doing to my body and the long-term effects? We know that the liver is a forgiving organ, but it needs time to heal itself. So I suggest you go on the 30 days, cleanse, or, consult your physician, a doctor, and, work on maybe lowering your alcohol take if you feel like you need a change. And again, with drinks like this on the market, and this is Athletic Brewing, I don't have to ever go back to alcohol. I've made a conscious decision that I'm not going to drink anymore. You may find yourself coming to that crossroads, and if this video has reached you, then here's the confirmation for you to put the alcohol down. And there's so much I've gained, insight I've gained, wisdom I've gained. I have a much better relationship with my family members and friends, and more importantly, spiritually, I'm in a much, 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 much better place than where I was when I was relying on alcohol to get me through times and not God. So that's my story. That's why I stopped drinking alcohol. I wanted a better connection with God. I wanted to actually enjoy my nights and days. And I wanted to be healthy. And you find that as your journey, as you're working on being healthy and working on being a better you, you'll find that things that derail you from your future, your true future, you'll find those things and friends go to the wayside. I don't say that to say that people won't be in your life, because there are alternatives, but you may find yourself going out and just realizing, wow, maybe I didn't like this as much as I did. For instance, there's this pizza joint, and they have the specialty pizza, and I went there craving it after one night of hanging out with my friends, and pizza just didn't taste the same. And most of the time when I got it, I was inebriated. And so things don't taste the same, things don't look the same, and people don't look the same. And social media definitely doesn't look the same. So in our next video, we'll be talking about why I quit social media as well. Till then, stay true to you. Peace.